Imagine a secret army, formed in the dead of night, designed to strike deep behind enemy lines, sowing chaos and confusion in Hitler's forces. This is the story of the Special Air Service, or SAS, Winston Churchill's elite force, a group so daring and covert that their very existence became a legendary tale of World War II. How did this group come to be? Who were the men that shaped it? Buckle up as we dive into the origins of the SAS, the secret army that would change the course of modern warfare. It was 1941. The British were getting hammered by Axis forces in North Africa. With Rommel's Afrika Korps running riot through the desert, the British needed a game-changer. Enter a young officer named David Stirling, a bit of a maverick. Stirling had an idea that was, to say the least, unconventional. What if instead of sending waves of soldiers against fortified positions, they created a small, elite unit that could operate deep behind enemy lines? A unit capable of sabotage, disruption, and intelligence gathering, striking at the heart of the enemy's operations? Many thought it was madness. But Stirling was persistent and somehow managed to get an audience with top military brass. When Winston Churchill himself heard about the idea, he was intrigued. Churchill, always a fan of bold, unconventional warfare, gave it the green light. Thus, the SAS was born. This wasn't going to be a traditional unit. This was Churchill's secret army. With the concept in place, Stirling quickly recruited men who were not only highly skilled, but had the right mindset. These soldiers weren't just brawny, they had to be cunning, resourceful, and daring. The early SAS operatives trained relentlessly, often in brutal conditions, to prepare for their missions in the vast, unforgiving deserts of North Africa. The first missions, however, were a disaster. Using gliders to drop the men into the enemy's territory, many found themselves scattered, some even captured. But from failure comes learning. The SAS evolved, switching to jeeps for high-speed raids across the desert. Their tactics became razor-sharp, and soon they were carrying out devastating raids on German airfields, destroying hundreds of aircraft and supplies, crippling Rommel's desert operations. These lightning strikes, often under the cover of darkness, left the enemy scrambling. The SAS wasn't just about brute force. They used deception and surprise to stay one step ahead of the enemy. The SAS wasn't just another military unit. It was a brotherhood. Their leadership, starting with Stirling, emphasized trust, loyalty, and a fierce dedication to one another. Leadership wasn't simply about barking orders, but leading by example. Stirling and his second-in-command, Paddy Mayne, were known for fighting shoulder to shoulder with their men, earning their respect through action, not rank. Paddy Mayne, in particular, became one of the most legendary figures in SAS history. A towering Irishman, Mayne was a force of nature, ferocious in battle, but equally strategic in planning. Known for his incredible bravery, he personally destroyed dozens of enemy planes and became one of the most decorated soldiers in British military history. As the tides of war turned, the SAS found themselves fighting on multiple fronts. Their success in North Africa paved the way for larger and more complex missions. By the time Operation Torch, the Allied invasion of North Africa, began, the SAS had already earned a fearsome reputation. They were expanding, recruiting more men, and their missions grew bolder. After North Africa, the SAS shifted to Europe, where they played a pivotal role in the Italian campaign and the invasion of France. They were now operating behind enemy lines in occupied Europe, disrupting German supply lines, communication, and key infrastructure. In the thick forests of France, they trained local resistance fighters, waging guerrilla warfare to weaken the Nazi hold on Europe. By the time the war ended, the SAS had proven itself to be one of the most effective, unconventional forces in military history. Their small size and specialized training made them the perfect unit for covert, high-risk operations. But what's truly fascinating is how their tactics and ethos lived on long after World War II. The SAS wasn't just another unit. They embodied Churchill's vision of an agile, unpredictable force capable of turning the tide in impossible situations. And even after the war, their legacy continued to influence modern special forces. The daring missions, the brotherhood, the strategy of unconventional warfare became the blueprint for elite forces across the globe. The story of Churchill's secret army is more than just daring raids and thrilling desert warfare. It's a testament to how a small group of men, armed with an idea and unyielding courage, could outwit and outfight a far larger force. The SAS didn't just fight battles, they rewrote the rules of war itself. And that's it for the story of how the SAS came to be. If you want more incredible stories from history, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an episode. Thanks for watching. And remember, sometimes it's the smallest forces that leave the biggest impact. See you in the next one.